Radio Max in Takrady and Jubilee FM in Keta. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is proudly brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank. Let's go. In this edition, Supreme Court merges 2 cases against EC's voter registration exercise. We have details as the court indefinitely adjourns judgment in the case filed by the NDC, which was due June 23. Also, NPP primaries in Asante Ashim North hit with a legal suit as a disqualified aspirant challenges basis for disqualification. Meanwhile, the party has announced strict measures aimed at preventing possible outbreak of COVID-19 as the party elects parliamentary candidates for election 2020 tomorrow.
Because of the strict observance of COVID-19 protocols, instead of congregating at the constituency center, a delegate will now congregate at the electoral area. Delegate will be given face masks.
We have more as the party issues a warning to its parliamentary aspirants against vote buying. Also live on the ground, frontline workers at the East Municipal Hospital hurt by rising stigma from commercial drivers. They say Uber drivers refuse to pick them.
Sometimes you request for the Uber, the driver will get here, but when you get there, the driver is gone. You ask the security drivers, they tell you, they ask them, is it not here they keep the COVID patients?
We bring you a report on the daily struggles of some personalities handling Ghana's war against the COVID-19 and a piece of advice to those unwilling to honor their fathers on Father's Day.
When it comes to Father's Day, we teach fathers parenting skills. I understand the pain sometimes people go through when their fathers were not there, but that does not give you a license to dishonor your father.
And on Spotlight today,
one day my mother said, look, you are not eating today. My mother sings very, very well. I will wait when this mommy starts. I'll go and stand somewhere and start singing the alto. Just at the end of the song, and then Baba Jiwe
we celebrate the life and career of high-life musician Papa Yankson, whose death in 2017 has not stopped Ghanaians from enjoying his timeless music. That and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And in your election headquarters here on the Midday News, the Supreme Court has in a unanimous decision merged the 2 cases against the EC's voter registration exercise. So the court has also indefinitely adjourned its judgment in the case filed by the NDC, which was slated for June 23. Now, this follows an application filed by Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame, who said the 2 cases arise substantially from the same set of facts. Both cases raises issues regarding the EC's decision to compile a new register and which documents should be used for the registration. Now, court correspondent Joseph Akable joins us in studio with more. Joseph, tell us about the AG's argument in support of this measure.
And so Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame made the point that voters' ID be used in the registration exercise. Again, the 2 cases arise from the fact that the EC has decided to compile a new register. And so he said that as a result of the similarity, it's important that the court merges it and ensures that it deals with both at the same time. Okay. Well, we understand the NDC had initially objected to this request but abandoned it later. Yes, the NDC's legal team led by Gordon Tamaklo made a point to the court that they had initially asked that the court stops the EC from compiling a new register. That is something that Mark Techi-Banson, who filed this new case, is asking for. And so since they abandoned that, their case is obviously a bit different from that of the others. But a member of the panel, Justice Sulek Badegbe, pointed out to him that the fact that they are merging doesn't mean that they are not going to address all the concerns of both sides. What happens is that when they are delivering a judgment, they will point out that this is the orders relating to this case and this is the order relating to the other one. And so that he should take that cue. And once he said that, Mr. Tamaklo said that they've now abandoned their opposition to the AG's motion. The other parties in the case, the EC and Mark Techi-Banson, did not oppose the AG's request for the cases to be merged.
So the court then gave some orders that affected the judgment it was supposed to deliver on June 23. Run us through the orders.
And so it doesn't apply to the NDC because the NDC opted that they are not going to file anything in terms of the new development. And so Mark Techibanson is to file his statement of case by Monday, June 22. The Attorney General and the EC are to respond to that particular case. That is the issue relating to the fact that the EC should be stopped from compiling a new register entirely, as well as the bit relating to the inclusion of the voters register. They are to file that by June 23. The next court date is June 24, and the next date is for the consolidated cases. And so all the parties, Mark Techibanson, the NDC, the Attorney General, and the Electoral Commission, are to go back to court on June 24. We know that the June 23 judgment has already been adjourned indefinitely, and so we understand that on June 24, the court will take oral arguments from the parties, and we expect that a date will be fixed for judgment. And the indication we are getting is that it's likely that that date will be before the June 30 date, which the EC is set to compile the new register.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph Akable, bringing us details from the Supreme Court. So we're waiting for the decision on this. Hopefully, it will come before the mass registration exercise on June 30. Still your election headquarters. In less than 24 hours, the NPP will be selecting its parliamentary candidate to represent them in the December 2020 polls. We'll look at a legal suit against the primaries in Asante Achim North over photo album issues. My colleague on the political desk, Elton John Brobe, joins me on the line with more on this. Tell us a bit more about this suit that is hitting the Asante Achim North.
So, these are 145 delegates in 61 polling stations, mostly from Agogo. And according to them, their names have been unlawfully and fraudulently delected from the original photo album of the Asante Achim North constituency. And they filed a suit and they've secured an injunction against the MPP and the third defendant, the Electoral Commission, to restrain them from going ahead with this weekend's parliamentary primaries in the Asante Achim constituency. And the contest is between the incumbent MP, Andy Apiakubi, and the board chairman of the National Sports Authority, Kojoba Ajiman, who is a former member of parliament. Now, for them, they took this action in compliance with the democratic principles of the party, and it was the last resort after their petition over the unconstitutional maneuvering to disenfranchise them were ignored. Information I'm taking is that the party, they've taken a step further, and it's most likely that the election at the Asante Achim North constituency will not come on tomorrow.
That's my colleague Elton Brobe. He'll still dig, and then we'll bring you more here at your election headquarters. So the polls will be conducted in 100 constituencies to elect parliamentary candidates. The contest is also set to be a real cliffhanger, a neck and neck in 26 hotspots across the 16 regions of the country. Director of Elections Evans Nimako has been speaking to my colleague Roland Walker on the party's preparedness towards the election. We'll hear from him briefly though, but first, let me bring you this report on the Bantama Constituency, one of the Ashanti region's hotspots.
The Bantama Constituency primaries is contested by only two aspirants, the incumbent Daniel Ochemabuaje versus the Deputy Chief of Staff at the Presidency, Francis Asenso-Boakye. The incumbent NPP has dominated the constituency since 1996 after Ofosu Owusu Jibril of the New Democratic Congress won the seat when the NPP boycotted elections in 1992. Since then, Dr. Richard Womfred Anane won the seat in 1996 and 2000 until the Nshiasu constituency was carved out of Bantama. Then comes Cecilia Abnadapa in 2004 and 2008. In 2012, Kwabena Kokofu represented the Bantama in Parliament but lost the 2015 primaries to Daniel Ochem Abuaje. Daniel Ochem Abuaje is the incumbent member of parliament and is seeking to be re-elected to represent the Florida of Ghana politics in the 2020 elections.
President Akufo-Addo, who was even once told that he could not become president, by our victory, our hard work, our investment of time, human resources and money, and mobilization of the people, we won 89%, and today he's the president. And logic, the president is asking for 4 more years because one good term deserves another, he says. So what about me who have to bring him to power? What about me?
This thing that we have a lot of people in government, so I should stay where I am, and he also stay where he is. It's dead on arrival because In that case, then it means that anybody that the president appoints from parliament to be minister or deputy minister means that that person must relinquish his MP position for somebody else to come and take.
Question is, will delegates sympathize with Ochem to go to parliament for the second time, though he didn't allow his predecessor, Kokofu, to run for the second term? Confident Asenso Boakye, the deputy chief of staff, who is known to be the darling boy of President Akufo-Addo, hopes to win more than half of the over 547 delegates in the constituency to proceed to parliament.
We can now hear from the Director of Elections, Evans Nimako, speaking on the AM show on how the party will put in place strict measures aimed at preventing a possible outbreak of the coronavirus.
The party's arrangement is that because of the strict observance of COVID-19 protocols, instead of congregating at the constituency center, delegates will now congregate at the electoral area as defined by the Electoral Commission, so as to reduce the number and will not let it go beyond 100. Delegates will be given face masks. We are providing for each delegate. We're also making sure that alcohol-based sanitizers are provided. We are putting an arrangement to ensure that there's Veronica bucket with soaps attached for people to clean themselves out very well as they come to the voting center. We've had discussion with the Electoral Commission. Ballot papers have been dispatched to the regional EC offices for onward dispatchment to electoral areas, which are going to serve as the voting center. In terms of security, the party general secretary wrote to the police service. All issues relating to security will be managed by the Ghana Police Service.
NPP's Director of Elections, Evans Nimako. And how are delegates, candidates, and leadership of the various constituencies gearing up for the crucial parliamentary primaries? Let's head to the Ashanti region first, where my colleague Erastus Asari Donko has been monitoring the situation. Erastus, what can you report? Hello, Erastus. Okay, it looks like Erastus Asari Donko has a terrible connection to his line. I'll be touching base with some of our reporters on the ground from the central region, the western region as well, and then also to the upper west region. Meanwhile, national organizer for the governing New Patriotic Party has sent a strongest signal yet against candidates planning to engage in vote buying in the upcoming parliamentary primaries. According to Sammy Oku, any attempt by candidates to unduly influence delegates through financial gains will be met with disciplinary action.
We haven't had any case of vote buying. From where we sit, we haven't seen anybody that deliberately, actively or inactively inducing people with money. Unless these are social media allegations, and for us as a national party, we don't go by social media allegations. Be as it may, we have our clear guidelines, our code of conduct, and anybody who falls foul of it, there are repercussions and sanctions as well.
That's the national organizer of the NPP, Sammy Oku. Now, the Eastern Regional Command of the Ghana Police Service says it has identified 5 constituencies as flashpoints or constituencies in tomorrow's NPP's parliamentary primaries. So the 5 flashpoints are New Jabin South, Achimoda, Nkoko, Kade, and the Sawam Adwijri constituency. So the Eastern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Afo Boakye Yadom, has hinted that the command has deployed enough men to protect lives and property at all the polling centers in these flash constituencies. My colleague Maxwell Kudeko will join me with more on that. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on myjoyonline.com. Thanks for staying with us. We'll go back to the election headquarters at this point, but they are on a 24-hour alert, abandoning family to aid Ghana battle the coronavirus. But frontline workers at the East Municipal Hospital, one of the nation's treatment centers, say their biggest challenge now is stigma. Some of the workers who spoke to my colleague PSC Nanaya Safu say taxi and Uber drivers often refuse them rides to and from work. They're calling on the president to seriously consider their transport issues. There's more of their human struggles in the following report.
And when you come on night duties, all of you cannot sleep at a time, so we run the schedule. Sleep for 2 hours, then I also take up. So
you've heard stories about their sleepless nights.
The gynecological drive that will straight to this place. That one we don't have it, and we are short of it.
You've heard stories about prolonged calls for adequate PPEs, but do you know they also live in fear of the virus?
They wanted you, the leader, to take the first step. So I didn't do it alone. I did it with one of my staff. So we went in there, put on our full PPE, while some of them stood there and observed. We received our patient, we went through the process I've told them, and it was safe. Then you realize that the confidence level started popping up.
Evelyn Naki Douna is Quality and Safety Manager, Infection, Prevention and Control at the Ga East Municipal Hospital. She leads and is part of a team of health workers adopting various measures to treat coronavirus at the hospital. Over 400 of Ghana's cases have been treated here so far, with 89% of patients discharged. But the workers are human too, and when they get some free time, which they rarely do, they sometimes wish for the life outside.
At times during the rainy season, people were like, hey, this weather and I'm here, my wife is there, you guys, you release some of us and let's go. So they call me, CCC, please can I go home? I say, no, you can't go home now.
They also crave better entertainment when all is said and done in their new home, making sure Ghana is not sick.
And the television will be doing. And DSTV.
Our programs and listen to news in the Western countries. Then we can learn and also hard on. We want something like that. People sharing their story. Then we can look at our process. If we need to modify something to make it the best. In fact, people send us WhatsApp messages. But if we are also hearing from the Western countries, there's a metasol. What is the effect? What is it happening? Let's see what is happening and how effective it has been. We want to work, and if possible, Nanado can arrange for every Sunday Omotuos or live band. Why not?
But most of all, they wish that the stigmatization will stop.
So does your family know you are doing this job?
Yeah.
And how did they take it?
From the beginning, I didn't let them know. Seriously, yeah. Because I didn't want them to get panic.
I have a little challenge. It's been with the Uber drivers. Sometimes you request for the Uber, the driver will get here, but when you get there, the driver is gone. You ask the security drivers, they tell you, they ask them, what is it not here? They keep the COVID patient. Then he just sped off. So please, the Uber drivers, we are not dangerous.
It gets worse.
I remember when it rained heavily, we were coming. The driver stopped and asked us to get out from the car. We had to carry our things and cross. In fact, it wasn't easy. He said if he knew we were coming here, he wouldn't have stopped.
They even ask you where you are before they even come. So when you say you are Ghanaian, then they will laugh. They say, Mamina is waiting for where they mean to me. Then, so they will cancel the.
They have a request for the president.
Donate a big bus for the hospital to convey the staff. Or they can dash some of us Picanto. We wouldn't mind.
In all, they remain unbroken in their resolve and work tirelessly in hopes of a COVID-free future. PSC Nanaya Osafo, Joy News.
Well, the campaign against stigma continues. Don't stigmatize people living with the virus or have recorded or recovered from COVID-19. They are our own brothers and sisters, our neighbors, people we live with. Anyone could pick up the infection. You know that by now, and that includes you. And you don't expect the world to hate you for being sick. Our frontline workers are heroes and heroines. Stop the stigma now. Over 30 inmates in 2 prisons in the central region have tested positive for COVID-19. Confirming the news exclusively to Joy News, Regional Commander Paula Winnie said the inmates were receiving treatment in the cells.
The first was about a little over 4 weeks ago in Kaswa, where some of our inmates tested positive. But working together closely with all, in fact, the district public health emergency management committee, all these inmates who tested positive were treated in the police cells. Currently, we have some issue in the association, which you are already aware, where some inmates have also tested positive. They have been treated.
That's Regional Commander for the Central Region, Paul Awini there. Let's stay on health-related matters. No more talk, we want action. That's the unanimous call by staff of the Pantang Hospital here in Accra, as repeated appeals for protection over encroachment and safety concerns forced them to withdraw their services. So the staff say they no longer feel safe working in an environment where gunshots and physical attacks are mainstay. Komla Adom visited the hospital earlier today and reports nobody was spared as pregnant women attending antenatal at the hospital's maternity block were turned away.
Protests, press conferences, sit-down strikes. Staff of a Pantang hospital since 2017 have demanded governmental intervention to address the problem of encroachers on the hospital land. According to them, the activities of land guards amidst gunshots, attacks on members, and invasion of a facility premises means they no longer have a safe place to work.
Our members want to see action. They don't want us to come telling them that, okay, so they should go back to work. They want to see for themselves that the wall is being built up. We ask for a permanent police post or military post so that we can be sure of security. There are so many land guards, quarters, everyone moving in here and there.
The situation demanded the intervention of health authorities, with Minister Kweku Agyeman-Manu promising to address the matter in 2017.
The developments apparently encroaching on Pantang Hospital's lands, blocking the whole facade of the huge facility that we have here. And I don't think that is the best. Luckily, we met the main person who claims to own the land with his documentation and the court judgment. Luckily, after engaging with him, he seems to have accepted my proposal that he's going to hold on with developments temporarily until we engage properly later after. And that is when we will find a solution to the matter. Government has interest in that area, and we will try to do the best that we can to make sure that government acquires the property so that Pantang will have the full complement of its land to develop itself.
But 3 years on, the situation appears worse. Local Ghana Medical Association Secretary Dr. Alex Ansa-Owusu says enough is enough and only action will get them to back down.
It appears our leaders are completely listless, apathetic. They aren't concerned about what is happening, because you can't wait for all this period. The first letter went on the 22nd of May. Here we are, 18th of June, and nothing has happened. 3 years ago, this started. They told us that they were going to reacquire the land. Government has interest in the land and our safety as well. But here we are, nothing has changed.
He said the staff have taken the decision to stay away from work, and only the following would appease them.
Words won't be enough this time. We want to see action. We want to see a wall. We want to see demolition of structures on the hospital land, and we want to just feel safe. Then we can come back to work and provide our services to all the people we see. None of us was happy to see the client being turned away. People coming all the way from Eastern region, Central region. You know, this facility provides mental health care for people from all over West Africa, not just Ghana.
On the first day of a strike, patients were turned away. Not even pregnant women on antenatal visits were spared. I brought my wife for antenatal care, but we have been told the doctors and nurses are on strike. The workers, clad in red arm and headbands, say it is time to take matters into their own hands and demand their due.
We have COVID-19 patients on our wards. Our facility is the only facility equipped in Ghana to take care of COVID-19 patients who have mental illness. If they are still not concerned and it gets to that point, we won't see anyone. They can be there. We don't have the power to discharge them, but we won't see them. That we can do because we are not safe. We want them to come, and we want them to come with action, not with words.
Kamala Adam's report here on the midday news. Our top story so far: Supreme Court merges 2 cases against EC's voter registration exercise. We brought you details as the court indefinitely adjourns judgment in the case filed by the NDC, which was due June 23. Still to come, a piece of advice to those unwilling to honor their fathers this Father's Day.
When it comes to Father's Day, we teach fathers parenting skills. I understand the pain sometimes people go through when their fathers were not there, but that does not give you a license to dishonor your father.
And on Spotlight today,
one day my mother said, look, you are not eating today. My mother sings very, very well. I will wait when this mommy starts. I'll go and stand somewhere and start singing the alto. Just at the end of the song, and then Baba the way the
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. We'll go back to the election headquarters as the NPP prepares to elect parliamentary candidates for election 2020. And let's touch base with our reporters now. Richard Kojonyako is in the Central Region. Richard, what can you report?
Well, what I can report is that the competition is becoming very interesting. The aspirants are just going around. We are moving from one place to the other. Let's start from the Upper Dincha East and Upper Dincha West. These two constituencies, it is deemed that whoever wins automatically has a foot in Parliament, because since 1992 we started the elections, no NDC candidate has won there. So the incumbents are being challenged by some who lost the primaries in 2016. So if you go to the Upper Dincha West, you have Benjamin Kofi, who was the immediate past MP for the area. Then someone who is the carrier, so they are flagging it out. If you go to the Upper Dincha East, you have Nana Mwakun, who has been in Parliament for 4 consecutive terms, and he's been challenged by Justice Iwako Fido.
And that's Richard Kojonyako from the Central Region, a place to watch. Let's go to the Eastern Region now. Maxwell Kudeko has told us about the police identifying some flash spots. Tell us more, Maxwell.
Well, according to the Ghana Police Service, 5 constituencies have been identified as flash points, namely the New Gabon South constituency, the Achimoda, Kede, Nkoko, and then Saum constituency. Now, the police says that at least not less than 2 police personnel will be stationed at each of the polling centers in this constituency, especially in the New Gabon South constituency where tensions are high.
And that's Maxwell Kudeko. Later on in this evening's edition of Top Story, we'll bring you more from the NPP's parliamentary primaries. But for those of you who are uncomfortable honoring your parents on Father's Day this Sunday, here are some words of advice from Bishop Fred Kranchi Mensah, head pastor for Transformational Assembly.
To the world that when it is Mother's Day, we celebrate mothers. I don't have a problem with that. We have to. It is scriptural. We have to. But when it comes to Father's Day, we teach fathers parenting skills. A big, huge error. The Bible didn't say teach them in this text. Scripture said, honor them. Honor your father and your mother. Teaching fathers how to father on Father's Day. Let's do it another day. On Father's Day is a day of honor. So if scripture says honor your father, what it means is that respect your father, esteem your father, put a high value on him, and reward that relationship.
Wow.
Honor has nothing to do with parenting.
That's Bishop Fred Kranchi Mensah, head pastor for the Transformational Assembly. He spoke on joy timing his presence with Pastor Ato Aqua. It's time now for Spotlight. He died in 2017 at age 73 after an illustrious music career spanning over 3 decades. But that has not stopped Ghanaians from enjoying his timeless music. But for a man born into a music family, Papa Yankson distinguished himself, and today he's acknowledged as one of Ghana's high life greats. He's on Spotlight today.
A stenographer cum musician. The late Benjamin Papa Kofi Yankson, known widely as Papa Yankson, though born into a music family, did not start out as one.
The owner of the band engaged me as a stenographer and a singer. When I go to the officer, not break because I have performed the last night and gotten some money in my pocket.
But while he was determined to take after his parents, he was not sure how.
One day my mother said, "You are not eating today." I knew the weakness of my mother. I will wait when this mommy starts. I'll go and stand somewhere. I sing the altar. Then just at the end of the song, and then Baba Juwe
This will change when he met legendary high life musician and producer C.K. Man. Before he fell ill, he used to perform at events, and even after he was wheelchair ridden, Papa Yankson acknowledged the role CK Man played in his music career.
I'm really honored to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Papa Nancy.
At the 2017 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, where he received the Lifetime Achievement Award, he dedicated the honor to his memory.
I dedicate this award to my brother, my friend,
Asamara Kriya. And Komla Adom joins me in studio. He's the man behind the spotlight. Good job there, Komla. But what's trending on Twitter?
Well, Duncan Williams is trending. He's been trending since last night. You know, the controversy sparked when son of the Archbishop, made some posts 2 weeks ago, bad-mouthing his father. Well, there's a tweet from D. Wills at D. Wills Live. He says, "Dear Daddy, I would humbly apologize for the false accusations. You are the best father anyone could ever wish for. Thank you for loving me, even though all the trials and tribulations continue." Perfect
Father's Day gift.
And then also another thing that's been trending is brown paper bag. Sarkodie Manifest released a banger, and it's been trending for hours. And many have described this as the next emancipation song. So, for example, Kale J tweet, he said, "The white man won't teach us how to make money and provide jobs, but they will gladly give us loans. Branded slavery, hashtag brown paper bag." And Sadiq Alam says, "The best emancipation song as a redemption song, hashtag brown paper bag."
Wow. If you haven't heard it like me, I'll leave you with that. And that's it for the Midday News. Thanks so much for your company. I am Emefa Apawu. Living Word will come up after brown paper bag.
I think it's time that we open the hell gate. We gotta push to be free before it's hell late. We can see between the lines, but we still can't read. We still in chains, but the eyes can't see. We do have a choice, but we still ain't free. Open so me more, I can't breathe. I just wanna be free. Free is when you decide for yourself. Free is when nobody controlling your wealth. Free is when you stop begging people for help. Free is finally when you're breaking out from a spell. We in the 21st century, they can't be using guns no more. They're playing games with the mind. I could see